it says that we are live. I don't know what's going on here. Hello? Well, let's find out if I'm actually live or if YouTube's screwing me over again. Alright, guys, it says we're on. What the fuck? Oh. What's going on, guys? Oh, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Oh, we're going to stay on here for a little bit, see if anybody else comes on. Oh. For some reason, I don't know why I'm so fuzzy. I don't know why. I think YouTube has blackballed me again. I had about 15, 20 people that was going to be on the chat with me, and they've all said that they can't get on my chat. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I had about 20 people on here, about 15, 20 people say, hey, I would love to do a live. Can you do it around this time, Eastern time? And I said, yes. And I would say 5 or 6 of them people have messaged me and said, we could see your live. We can see everything. I took and did a test and stuff like that with my phone to put hi on there, but for some reason they can't. One of them showed me a video a while ago, and they was actually showing the live about a minute, 30 seconds into this. And for some reason it won't. So I don't know. We got 2 people. See here. What's going on? Trying to figure out where everybody is. It does not say that you're on here. Somebody left. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Let me let's see here. Huh. Well, I don't know what's going on. I guess YouTube is blackballing me because and then it just shut off. So yeah, I just got on here and logged in, and yeah. So I guess I don't know what's going on, guys. Um, can you comment at all? When we hit your live, we can hear you but cannot see you, and it will not allow us to message. Well, I don't know what the hell. Well, we can stay on here for a minute, see what anybody says. You guys can hear me, but it shows that I have one person watching and only me that said hi. But my name has got a ranch. What does a blue ranch mean? Anybody mess? For some reason, I see my name and it's got a blue ranch. So I don't know what that means. See, this has also happened the first time I did a live. Now, the first time I did a live, I had like 35 to 40 people that was literally, I could see on my phone that was on my live, but YouTube would not let them go on the live of the screen. So I don't know what's going on. We'll stay on here for a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know why YouTube is doing this to me. Oh yeah, I know why. They can't sell my face, and I don't got enough credit for them to sell me. I know way too many YouTubers that will be in debt the rest of their lives. Like they will literally die with YouTube owning them. I don't know, guys. I don't know why that you guys can hear me, but y'all can't message me or anything. I don't know why it only says one watcher up there. Oh, I'm guessing if y'all want to, ask me questions, I guess, through my phone or something. I don't know. And now it says 0 when I'm literally still logged in through my other account. Oh, we got the 1 back on. What's up, number 1? I'm not sure if that's me or that's somebody else. But I'm actually logged on to my other site through it. And I have my other phone also logged in. Whoops. It shut off. Why did this one shut off? Oh, this one's on too. So that's 2 different accounts that I have on here, and it's not even listing. Plus the other 6 people that just messaged me telling me that they can hear me, but they can't see me. And they all said that they can't message. Oh, we'll stay on here for a little bit. I don't care. I ain't doing nothing. Scorched the hell out of my arm while ago trying to light the fire. Bothered me a little bit. Oh, maybe I need to. This is the first time, I think it's the second time I ever used the camera on this HP computer. I'm telling you, this HP computer is not that old. And the camera resolution on here stinks. I think this computer is like a year old, maybe 2 years old. Maybe 2 years old. And it stinks. Now it says I'm back to 0. So I know with both of my phones and the 6 people that I know that are watching me right now, the 6 people that are watching me right now, I should have at least 8 up there. I don't know. I don't know. Have no idea. What's going on? Talk to me. So, I don't know why you cannot chat. So, yeah, I have no idea what's going on. So, evidently, there is 8 of us right now on here. The little thing that I see above there where it says how many people watching literally bounces from 1 to 15 to 0. I don't know. And nobody can comment except for me. So I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what the blue wrench means or anything. I have no idea. Like right now it says 1. Just a while ago it said 15. Then it said 4 or 5. Now it's back to 1. So I have no idea, guys. I have not a clue. But anyways, y'all guys can evidently hear me and see me and everything according to the phone here. There's 8 of you watching so far. We'll give it a few more minutes, see if anybody else gets on here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Oh, not what I wanted to do. I'm live on my YouTube channel, Tapped Out Auto. Man, I tell you what, guys, it really stinks to be in a damn place where it's got 20,000 residents, but 1 cell tower. Like, literally, I don't understand it. Really don't. We'll give it a few more minutes. Like I say, I have no idea what's going on at all. So, I don't know what's going on, guys. I have no idea what's going on at all. I got people messaging me telling me that they can see me now, but every time they try to put a chat down, it goes away. And I actually seen that yesterday when somebody who the hell else was it that went live yesterday? Was it Pool Barn Garage? I can't remember who it was, but there was another YouTuber that went live, and man, got the top of my hair too. Jeez. Be careful with fire, guys. So now I can see right now on the little thing that says who people's watching me. It says that there's 18 people right now. What does that say on y'all's end? Because I see right up here, it says there's 18 people watching me right there. So I don't know if y'all guys can see that or what. Oh, we'll give it a few more minutes. There's one person that I'm waiting on and stuff like that to get on here. So, well, I guess what I'm going to have to do is, I guess I'm just going to read the questions off the phone. I didn't really want to do that. I was hoping and stuff like that. I'll start working. But it doesn't. And for some reason, it says, welcome to live chat. Remember, grade your policy and enable our community guidelines. Learn more. Yeah, but I already did that. And I have no idea why that's still up. So I guess what I'm going to do and stuff like that is, I guess I'm going to read your questions that y'all send me through my phone. I have no idea why none of this is working. I guess I'm not monetized enough. But you know what, guys? There would have been a lot of people on here that tell me that they could not go live without having over 1,000 subscribers. And I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so maybe that's what it is. But they told me that they couldn't even, when they tried to go live, it wouldn't even go through until they got 1,000 subscribers. So, well, let's see. I guess the first question is, and stuff like that, was what are the plans for the Camaro? Right now, guys, I really don't know the plans of the Camaro. I really like to do the body work this year, but if I could find some way to make some money and stuff like that, I'm going to need a vehicle to drive back and forth this summer. So I really don't know what all the plans are. I live in a place and stuff like that where it's very hard to get ahead. No, I've literally, guys, I'm not even kidding you. I have done probably 3 times as much in my life living here than anybody that has grew up here. I'm actually the first person that knows that literally bought his house by himself without a family member dying or somebody giving them the money. It's really weird here. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I've been asking stuff like that for some, a couple people around town and stuff like that for jobs and stuff like that. But I never really worked for a tire shop, and I really wanted to work for a tire shop. And so I went to the couple of tire shops in town, which one of them gets me. One of them is a full-fledged tire shop, and they sell alcohol. Yeah, it's Boone's Farm and beer, but still, I mean, it's kind of messed up anymore and stuff like that. You take a grandkid into a tire shop, and there's guys sitting there, having a good old time about, wow, there's a 30-pack of Busch beer in there with the camo design, and how they're excited to get that. So yeah, I really don't want to work for a place like that. I just think that if you need beer revenue, that I know I just got like right there top of my head. I know I need to cut my hair again. I just don't have the money for it. But I say that this place is, hell with it. I feel that this place is probably like Mayberry. I say if this place had the surrounding area, man, guys, let's say if there's 1,100 people here, I would be surprised that there's 1,100 people here. And the alcohol, guys, I don't know if this is like y'all where y'all live, But the dollar store is literally shutting down their doors to build another dollar store outside the city limits just so they can serve alcohol. Hey, this is only a town, maybe 11, 1,200, maybe. I'm being like conservative that there's that many here. Maybe in the summer, maybe closer to 3,000 because there is a giant RV park here with a nice lake that people like to camp. So with 1, 2, 3, 4 places already selling alcohol, it's just really weird to me that the dollar store has did enough research to say, hey, there's enough alcohol revenue around here to open up another store. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, this thing's finally working. Bad 66 Chevelles. Well, I tell you what, I'd like to have me a 66. Well, I'd say I'd like to have me what is that Chevelle with the round headlights in the back? Is that a 69? Yeah, because a 60, I think 69, ain't it? Yeah. I saw your YouTube short a while back about how expensive eggs in grocery stores at. Yeah, eggs back then. Holy crap, man. I don't know about the rest of the United States and stuff like that, but yeah, eggs were ridiculous. And for some reason and stuff like that, eggs up here are really hard to get. Like, seriously, I don't know why, but as soon as the Dollar General and the Family Dollar stocks eggs up here, they're gone. And then you got to drive 15 miles to Cadillac just to get a carton of eggs. Virginia. I've been through Virginia quite a few times. I have. 57 Plymouth. Man, I tell you what, I never really been into Dodge let's say Dodge, let's say Mopar engines, because a lot of people and stuff like that don't realize that Mopar and stuff like that, they went through a terrible transition. They went to Mopar, which was decent vehicles. The only thing I hated about them and stuff, if you put headers on the engine, you had to take the damn passenger side header off just to change the damn starter. But you had Plymouth, or say you had Mopar, then you had Daimler Chrysler, and then you had now you got Fiat. Now, is it Fiat Dodge or just Fiat Ram now? I can't remember. Yes, I have seen the Christine movie. That was a 57 Plymouth Belvedere in that movie, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a 1957 Plymouth Belvedere, I think it was, in Christine. I actually had a buddy of mine that had a 4-door Belvedere, and he couldn't find parts for the damn engine. I can't remember what engine that was in it, but he couldn't find parts for the engine, and we wind up putting a Chevy 350 motor in it. '58 Fury. Oh yeah, it's been a really long time and stuff like that since I know the history of Christine. They are trying to make a reboot movie of that. I got a couple people and stuff out there in California that were talking to me, and they actually made a reboot of that movie, but it never got released because the vehicle that they were trying to use was I think it was a new Dodge Charger, and it just wasn't working. And I actually just read about that like a couple of weeks ago and stuff, and they was going to come back out with a new Christine movie, and the new Christine movie was going to be a newer Dodge Charger, and I think fans were just like, no, that's not happening. That's cool. I got this. For some reason, I got this. The heart emoji is like right on the end of the sentences for some reason, and I can't move it. '57 Bel Air. Man, I have to tell you, I never was in the Bel Air craze and stuff like that because it was just ridiculous. I tell you though, I would really like to get a '58 Biscayne. I'd really like to get a '58 Biscayne. Um, Anymore though, they're so dang expensive you can't touch them. Yeah, that thing's gonna run good. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what, I I wasn't. My dad was a big fan of Mopar, and I think that's what kind of ruined me because I couldn't stand him at all. And I rebuilt a 360 Dodge with him one time, and I didn't even know what I was doing, and I didn't even know that there was little spacers on the head bolts and stuff like that for the. I think either the head or the rocker assembly. I can't remember. This was a couple of decades ago, few decades ago actually. And I just thought that was just a pain in the butt. Pissed off at the Tri-Five guys cutting up and remaking into a Plymouth. Yeah, yeah, they've been doing that a lot. You've been seeing that. I have been seeing a lot of people taking four-door cars, especially the Tri-Fives, and somehow they're turning them into two doors. And I've actually seen a couple of these go through the Barrett Jackson auction. And what's crazy out of both of these cars, I know that they were four doors and they went across the block as two doors and nothing was said. Nothing. Barrett Jackson never said that any one of them cars was a conversion or anything. And I don't know how the title is or anything like that on them. I would surely have thought they would say four door, 1957 Chevrolet, but evidently they don't. Evidently they just say 57 Chevrolet because they were selling them as two doors, and it was crazy how much money that they was getting out of them. '59 Biscayne, yeah, 59 Biscayne. That's let me say one thing about Chevrolet. Actually, Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, all of them. Ford even did it. Most of the cars and stuff were the body styles were 1 year only. '59 Biscayne. Yeah, that's a bad car. Yeah, that's a nice one. I like the fins on those. But see how the 58 was so much different than the 59. And I don't know, I just never could find a '59 Biscayne that wasn't rotted out. I owned a Edsel too. I actually had the Edsel where it had the shifter in the steering wheel. And the guy that owned it, he did something to the push button on the steering wheel. And what was crazy is when you put in drive was actually reverse, but reverse was neutral, and neutral was drive. Yeah, he had that thing all messed up, and I think I paid $400 for that car. Had it sitting in front of my shop that I used to work at. Guy pulled up and stuff like that, just tickled to death about this Edsel. 4 flat tires, back window busted out. I got it running, but it ran like crap. The push button was messed up on it, and I think he was a 91 OBS and $5,000 is what he gave me for that car. And I didn't say anything to him. He's the one that gave it to me. I was happy. Yeah, I don't know how they do that on the titles. Like, well, I mean, a lot of the vehicles up here up in northern Michigan, I had a Chevy Tahoe, which is basically a giant SUV, and they had it listed up here as being a station wagon. So I have no idea. I haven't owned well, no. I have to take that back. I did own a four-door car that was a what the hell was that car? It was a Ford Crown Victoria, 2001 Ford Crown Victoria. For some reason, the motor locked up while sitting. Have no idea what was going on with that, but I don't think that car said it was a four-door on the paper, on the title. I do have, you know what I have? I actually have a title right here, a four-door vehicle. Let's see if this title right here says it's a four-door vehicle. Oh, see here, this was at Chevy Tahoe, and it was a four-door, but they just have it listed as being a station wagon. Oh, well, you get there. There we go. Kind of, but yeah, see there. So yeah, I guess they don't put if it's a two-door or four-door. That's crazy. Yeah, completely different cars. Yeah, they did have that recall in 70s trucks. I remember I bought a Chevrolet. I have to tell you, Chevrolet ain't worth a damn on keeping their long-term warranties, but Ford is. I bought a 1990 Ford F-150 one time, and I think it was gray, and something with the dash had a recall in it, and I sold it to a guy. He got it running, stuff like that, and he literally took that truck to the shop, and they literally took the whole entire dash out, fixed the recall that was in the dash, and I think this was back in like 2008. It was like, wow, I couldn't believe that. If I'd known that, I would have probably kept the truck. Yeah, the historical documents, I've been trying to do that and stuff like that on a couple of vehicles, like especially the 87 IROC that I have. And for some reason, I have put the people's name and stuff like that I found inside the car, and I can't find any historical documents on that car. I could find who owned it, who bought the car brand new. I talked to the guy that helped the guy that owned the car finance it, and he told me and stuff like that he financed the car through a guy. The guy did race it. Now, I was told that the car was in Trans Am racing. I kind of find that hard to believe. The guy said that, as far as he knows, it was not in Trans Am racing, but the guy did race the car a lot on the streets, and the car has a lot of upgrades from the factory that would not be on the ROP codes. And I have noticed that, like, it's got a straight Positrack rear end in it, and I don't know what the hell's inside that rear end at all. But I don't think there's a tag on that rear end, but the rear end's never been taken apart. And I know that because I know the history of the car. And I ran the numbers on the engine a long time ago. That's in one of my on one of the playlist deals. I need to find that. And I can't remember, but what it says in the engine, or what it says about the engine, that engine did not come out until 1989. And it only came in either, I can't remember what it said, but it was either 3 IROCs and 2 Corvettes, or 3 Corvettes and 2 IROCs. It was a specialty motor. I don't know what is different about it. I did tear it apart, stuff like that, and reseal it, because we know 1980 Chevrolet gaskets are great. So I changed all that, and I posted the lady that bought it when the guy wrecked it. And when he wrecked it on the passenger side, but evidently it wasn't totaled. The guy traded it into a car lot for a new Camaro. Well, a lady and her son bought it, and I'm guessing since she had a son in high school that didn't know how to drive, he wrecked it again on the same side, and this time it went to an auction. Now, the thing that gets me is the car was only on the road for about 8 years, somewhere around there, 8 years. And in 8 years, they got 88,000 miles on it in 8 years. So, was it a race car for the track? I don't know. But I think what's really weird stuff like that is that car's got so much history, and I mean, it was sitting in a dark hole for 25 years until I dragged it out. I just cannot believe the views that car gets. I mean, that I see Vice Grip Garage, I was saying on my sticks and stuff like that. Vice Grip Garage got over 1 million views on his RS, rusted out, clapped out. I think his gets a Z28, and so does Morsky Repair. He's got over 100,000 views on his car, and for some reason, I cannot get the views on that car to come up at all. I think the most views I got on that car is somewhere around 200, maybe a little bit more than that. And I literally have cooking hamburgers on a grill. It's got more videos than that car combined. So I have no idea. I know I had one question and stuff from a viewer that wanted to know what is my highest views on my channel. Well, to tell you the truth, the highest views on my channel is one of the most crappiest videos I made. It was on a cheap junk $60 cell phone. I think I was fixing a fuel pump on a Kia Rio, and I think that video's got over almost 40,000 views right now. So, yeah. Yeah, I do the keywords a lot stuff. I think what it, like I was saying a long time ago and stuff to a lot of the YouTubers and stuff that is, like me and stuff like that. If you notice and everything that all the YouTubers that make it are evidently was rich, like Vice Grip Garage before they came into YouTube, or they pretty much just signed their soul over. And I don't want to do that. There's a guy that's Auto Auction Rebuilds, and I love his channel. He's got great cars and stuff like that. But if you keep watching, you notice order to him for keep his views up and keep things going. He's got to literally take and sell everything he owns just to pay the credit card debts off. And then he uses the YouTube revenue to live off. And it's just like, man, if YouTube crashes, you're in trouble. And I've noticed that about a lot of the guys. And then another thing of it is I don't like following the pack. I mean, if you watch a lot of YouTube channels, I mean, Vice Grip Garage started off as square bodies being famous, and now everybody on YouTube has got to have a square body. It's ridiculous. And I've seen people literally go in debt hardcore to try to chase these big name YouTubers and stuff. And the thing of it is, if you don't have a face that YouTube can sell, YouTube does not want you. That's why you have all these people on O'Reilly's commercials and stuff like that. Like Puddin's Fab Shop says that he's done a few O'Reilly's commercials, but I've never seen a Puddin's Fab Shop commercial. I have seen quite a few Vice Grip Garage O'Reilly commercials. So it's basically, you can't get ahead not unless, they can sell your face. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to have this channel to grow and stuff like that, but it's just not unless and stuff like that I can either win the lottery and get this fixed. It ain't going to happen. No. Let's see. Serious question. Can you legally replace everything around the firewall from one car and keep it legal? As long as you can take and cut a car up as much as you want, as long as you do not disturb the VIN. As long as the VIN number stays attached to the car, you can cut all the way around that VIN. As long as that VIN number stays on the car, no matter if it's just hanging off by a 1-inch piece of metal, as long as it's hanging off the original part of the car, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Now, you cannot take the VIN off the car, like, cut it out of the car and stuff like that, and walk over there and weld it to another car. You can't do that. But, yeah, you could cut that car all the way to the as much as you want. You can cut up as much of the original car as you want. Like I said, and stuff like that, is you just cannot replace the VIN number. I mean, you could literally take and have the original A-pillar, front A-pillar of the car. You can literally have just the VIN number attached to that A-pillar and build off of that. Yeah, there is no, as far as I know, in any state, I've actually built quite a few cars and stuff like that. I have been in Hot Rod Magazine, right in the front page. And we've literally took some cars where everything was completely rotted off, except for the pillar and the VIN number. And we have literally took and just cut everything off and just left the pillar standing there with just a chunk of the floor and built off of that. So yes, as long as you don't take a drill and drill out them rivets and rivet it to another vehicle, as far as I know, there's never been a problem. I've actually done a few cars like that, restoring them from the ground up, especially living here in Michigan and stuff like that. The rust is so bad, it's unreal. Well, what I would do if I was you, now, I would most definitely use I would use a Bel Air firewall, just because depending on what brakes and stuff like that, or just general stuff that you want to put on that car, even if you want to put an air conditioning unit, an aftermarket air conditioning unit in that car, I would say you would most definitely be better off using a Bel Air firewall just for parts availability, depending on how you want to go, than a Plymouth. Plus, a Bel Air firewall to me looks so much sexier than a Plymouth. Now, using the Crown Vic firewall, yeah, I would most definitely use the Bel Air firewall. Yeah. Yeah, I'd most definitely yes, the Bel Air firewall is most definitely more modern to especially what you're going to do. Now, I have actually seen uh, I mean the big trend right now is people going out and buying Dodge Chargers. Um and you know, Dukes of Hazard them and stuff like that, and they're taking it um cutting out the entire underneath of the charger out and just laying it right on the Crown Vic frame. Now I do have a buddy in Tennessee that does have a Crown Vic General Lee. It's got the Crown Vic dash, Crown Vic seats all the way through it, and he drives it around to some of the parades and stuff like that in Tennessee. And that car is actually registered, even though it looks exactly like General Lee. It's actually registered as a Crown Victoria. So I have no idea how the hell he gets by with that, but yes, it is. And he has the original, I think it was a 68, and they turned it into a 69. And literally, the title is a Crown Victoria with the chart, with the count. Yeah, I don't get it. No, it's not illegal to buy a firewall with the title. Like I said, as long as the VIN number on the firewall has not been altered by any way, then it does not matter. Like I said, you can buy a firewall with a title. And if that firewall has a VIN number on it that has been riveted on there by the manufacturer or by the state, then you can literally take that firewall and build a car from that firewall and use that title. Yeah, they don't. I had a 1985 T-Bucket Roadster with a 327 411 positive tracker in with a 4-speed. That car was wicked. And for some reason, I bought that car in Texas and I sold it in Las Vegas. When I transferred the title over in Las Vegas, they actually changed it over to a 1929 Ford T-Bucket Roadster. So I literally, yeah, and it was a fiberglass body. And I literally sold it out there in a car show as a 29 Ford. Like, okay. And it was a fiberglass body. This was many years ago. Let's see. Yeah, the thing about that is you got to really be careful. YouTube is actually, I think YouTube is actually turning a lot of people in that is that they know that are not dealers that are selling cars and stuff like that, and especially advertising them on YouTube. And I know a lot of people and stuff like that that are just getting hit with YouTube. Actually, YouTube can fine you. Like they can literally, I've seen it and stuff like that. I got a couple of friends that are in video games and stuff like that, playing online, and they're monetized. And they tell me and stuff like that that YouTube can literally garnish your wages and stuff like that they pay you. Kind of like getting a ticket if they feel that you're doing something wrong. I mean, they're not cops. I mean, I just don't get it. Yeah. Yeah, vice grip. It's all a ploy and stuff like that. I do know because I used to live in Tennessee that the way Vice Grip Garage does it, stuff like that, he has to have a wholesale dealer's license. Now he does sell to the public every once in a while and stuff like that, but most YouTubers and stuff like that is wholesale dealers. They're not retail dealers. Like they can't really sell like auto auction rebuilds. They cannot sell to the general public. Okay, but they can sell to other dealers, and a lot of these guys is dealers. A lot of them are dealers, especially somebody like the Vice Grip Garage that has bought hundreds and hundreds of cars a year. You can't do that anymore. So, yes, most of the guys and stuff like that is wholesale dealers. Even like Lucky's Wheels and Deals. You know, he owns a car lot, but he never shows the car lot on his channel except when he's picking up his trailer. But he owns a car lot, and I think he's got 3 or 4 employees. And so when you see those reaction films when they're saying, "Oh, I'm driving a car 800 miles back home or 2,000 miles back home," they have dealer licenses and stuff like that in the car and stuff. And when you don't see it, they do have a dealer plate on that car when they're driving. You can't just jump into a car that's in Wyoming and drive it all the way to Tennessee legally. You just cannot do it. I mean, hell, every one of them states and every one of them counties can give you a ticket. And reason why most big YouTubers have more than one channel is because they get so big. Like I said before and stuff, they get so much in debt with YouTube trying to keep content up that they come up with a second page and stuff like that, a second channel to try to live. Especially, you know, just like if you watch Puddin's Fab Shop. Puddin's Fab Shop just bought an entire interior kit for that Chevrolet pickup truck that he's building. Well, those things are pricey, and he doesn't work. He doesn't do nothing. He lives straight off of YouTube revenue. Well, he just got done building a house, and he just got done building that big garage. So, you know, all the YouTube revenue from his main channel is going to that house and that garage and all the bills and living. So he literally had to come up with a second channel to get the money up to make sure that he has content to, you know, to keep things going. You have to think, you know, people like Puddin's Fab Shop, Vice Grip Garage, they know a lot of people. They've been around for years, even before they even started a YouTube page. Puddin's Fab Shop grew up in the same town all of his life. And so he knows a lot of people there and stuff like that. And like the junkyard. Now, this is how I don't know how Puddin's Fab Shop is doing this. He's getting cars out of the junkyard and getting titles for them and either selling them or he's not giving them away. He's selling them. He's just pretending to give them away. They also do that stuff to boost their ad revenue and their analytics by doing fake giveaways. And, you know, it's really bad for these guys and stuff like that. Yeah, Dylan McCool and stuff like that has to now, and that's just what it is. They get so wrapped up in the YouTube that every week they have to come up with different content. Sometimes and stuff like that, they can get that one car that they can actually have that one car float for a couple of weeks and keep the content up. But if they don't keep, and that's another thing what sucks about being a YouTube creator, and that's really why at one time and stuff, I really wanted to be a YouTube creator. But then after I started learning and stuff like that about all these YouTube guys, I started learning and stuff like that, that you're always in so much deep debt that you'll never be. I mean, look at Vice Grip Garage. This guy not only had to come up with a second channel, a third channel, he had to come up with a TV show. YouTube sold him to Discovery Channel, which is Motor Trend. Yes, YouTube did. YouTube has a contract with these guys. YouTube is not just like, oh, you're monetizing, you're making us all this money, but whenever you want to, you can quit us to go to somebody else. No, that's not how it works. When you get up to a certain level, you have a contract with YouTube. YouTube owns you. That's why you see all these big name YouTubers on O'Reilly sites and stuff like that, is because YouTube sells them. Now they do get a percentage of the TV show and the commercial. But I mean, look at Vice Grip Garage. This poor guy has to work 24/7, 7 days a week just to keep afloat. This man can't even spend time with his kids because he's all the time got to get that YouTube revenue up, or YouTube will bury his ass. I have seen it. Now, Vice Grip, now you don't have to have a dealership license to sell as many cars. You either have to have a dealer's license or a wholesale dealer's license. Now, a wholesale dealer's license means that you can only sell your cars to auctions and other dealers. And you have to see that a lot of auto auction, especially Vice Grip Garage, a lot of his cars he has sold is to other big name YouTubers that do have these licenses to sell cars. Because a lot of cars, like state of Michigan, I've actually got in trouble for this. I thought it was like 7 or 9 cars you could, sell. But no, it's only 5. You can only sell 5 cars in the state. And yes, they do keep a track on it. And a lot of states, especially Tennessee, if you get caught selling cars without turning them over in your name, it could be jail time. In Texas, I actually almost went to jail for selling cars without transferring them in my name, just buying them. They call it title jumping. And a lot of states now, that's a big deal. And so, yeah, that's why a lot of these guys are doing it, stuff like that, is because they have wholesale dealerships. What's going on? Automotive Chaos? Oh, man, I got to put my glasses on. I'm old and blind. Well, to get a dealership license is a real pain in the butt. But get to a wholesale dealer's license is not that hard at all. I actually thought that was, but I've actually been looking it up, because where I live, guys, if I had a business partner to be in with me, I have seen cars that Auto Auction Rebuilds has had. Like, he's got a Dodge Serena van, one of them big 15 passenger Econoline vans. And what's up, man? But he was saying on his channel that he was thinking, oh, $5,000. If I can get $5,000 for this van, I'm good. And this is in Oklahoma. I just seen one of them on the marketplace that was in way worse condition as his van, just sold for $10,000 up here. And nobody does this. Nobody does this. Guys, there is such a bad car crisis up here. It's unreal. And it is crazy how many of these, because all I watch is automotive YouTube channels. That's all I watch. And it is crazy that these guys, the money that they can get out of these, that they say that they're getting out of these cars, makes me sick, because it's like, I can get double that. Like, Auto Auction Rebuilds right now is selling an 89 Mustang, complete rust-free, 5.0 engine. And he's like, if I get $5,000 for that car, I'm done with it. $5,000? I just seen a rusted-ass piece of junk sell the other day for $5,500. Like, the floorboards were gone, and it was an automatic 5.0 Mustang. I just don't get it. Well, I appreciate y'all. Chaos, I appreciate you for stopping in. No, title jumping is not to play with. They've actually gotten really bad at it. That's why I know, I would say if not all of them, I would say 90% of the I would say 90% of YouTube subscribers is wholesale dealers. Now, I looked it up in this state, and to get a wholesale dealer's license, I think it's $500, and you have to have something done with your insurance. I can't remember what it said, what you have to do with your insurance, but that doesn't cost anything. It just raises your insurance up. And when I talked to my insurance company about it, I think they said it's going to raise my insurance up like $100 a month. But I just can't get nobody to come up here. And what's really sad about this place is even if you talk to the people up here that's got money, that or can get money, they'd rather drink and do dope than do anything with their life here. I mean, it's insane. I know this guy and stuff. He's got so much potential to be something great. He's got a couple of kids and stuff like that. He's really smart, but he literally rather snort cocaine up his nose and stuff like that and try to be a playboy than to do anything with his life. And I know this is everywhere, but up here, it is just, it's bad. Yeah, that's one thing about it is and stuff like that. Now, being a car dealer, you have to have a different type of license plate. I can't remember what type it is and stuff like that, but it's a different type of license plate. And the thing that sucks about that license plate is you can only use it on car lot cars. Like you can take the tag and stuff like that, put it on a car to go for a test drive, but you can't put it on there. As far as I know, you can't put a car lot plate on a vehicle and drive it around like you could a wholesale dealer plate, is what I'm getting in this state. Let's see here. So with a whole car license, you can basically issue a license plate to a car that's been sitting like by what it is, the wholesale license plate, you can stick it on any car. It doesn't matter what car it is. Now the car lot license plate, I'm pretty sure you cannot. But the wholesale dealer plate, I do know that you can go out and get a car that's been sitting for 40 years and throw it on there. And now a lot of states and stuff like that, the state inspections and stuff, I think the state inspections does not apply to a wholesale dealer's plate. I don't, as far as I know and stuff like that, you do not have to get your car state inspected if you have a wholesale dealer's plate on it. Now, if you sell that car to an auction and stuff like that, and then they sold it to an individual, of course, that individual would have to go get it state inspected if you have that in your state. But no, with that wholesale dealer's plate, you do not have to have the vehicle inspected, because what the wholesale dealer's plate is, it's a car that belongs to your company, not to you. So the car is legally for sale. Like as soon as you take and stick that license plate on that car, it's legally for sale. So you don't have to put state inspection on, as far as I know, not unless the state does have some stipulation in their laws about that. But as long as your state doesn't have a stipulation about it, no. I mean, you don't have to have it state inspected. You can just throw your plate on there and go. Yeah, that's how they get around that. Yeah, that's how you see Vice Grip Garage jump into a Ferraro that's made out of plywood and drive it across the country and stuff like that, because he's a wholesale dealer, throws that license plate on there, and he doesn't get in trouble. And what makes his channel so great is he's smart enough to get out of the car and pull that license plate off before he does any more filming. You notice that with a lot of his vehicles, that as soon as he starts to get out of the car, the camera will stop. And the reason why it will stop is he's doing things like, taking the plate off the car and stuff like that to make it look more realistic. That's what gets the views. It doesn't matter if it has a title or not. It doesn't. That license plate, stuff like that. Now, like I said, there's two different license plates. Now, on the car lot license plate, it does have to have a title and stuff like that if you throw it on there, because you're selling it. When you put that car lot license plate on there, you're selling it as like you're selling it off your car lot to an individual. Well, you can't sell a car to an individual unless it has a title. But if you're a wholesale dealer, then you could put that plate on there and stuff and drive that car to $10 without a title, because with a wholesale dealership, you're not selling it to the general public. You're either selling it to somebody that's going to strip the car for parts, or are you going to sell it to another dealer, and that other dealer can worry about the title. You are legally responsible if it's unsafe. Now, if Vice Grip Garage did jump into a car that's been sitting for 40 years, and he's driving down the interstate doing 70 miles an hour, and a tire flies off of it and hits another vehicle, or he gets into a wreck, then yes, he is legally responsible for that. But that's what the wholesale dealership's insurance is for. So yes, if the car is unsafe, there's no inspector that's going to go out there and say this car is unsafe, you can't drive it. There's nobody going to do that. So he does take a risk by getting in these cars and risking getting to an accident, or, something, part flying off and hitting another car. And if that does happen, then his insurance is responsible for that. And I think you have to have like $1 million worth of insurance to get either one of them licenses. So, he's pretty covered when he goes out there, which is good. I mean, when I was traveling up here and stuff like that, a minivan lost a tire, and I was driving one of them big budget trucks with a Ford Ranger on a car trailer behind it. And I hit one of those doing about 70, literally launched the U-Haul truck up off the ground. My girlfriend said it scared the crap out of her and stuff like that. So yeah, things that bad can happen and stuff like that. Now, obviously, I did not stop and stuff like that and be like, hey, people and stuff, because I had insurance on the truck if I did anything to it and stuff. And I imagine if the people lost a wheel off their minivan and stuff like that, they were in a lot worse shape than they didn't need me there pushing anything to their face. But yeah. But yes, that's how a lot of these guys are getting away from this and stuff like that, is they're, that they got their wholesale dealers. What if the wholesale license holder wants to keep the car? They drag it out of the woods. Well, that's the thing and stuff like that. I don't think any of the cars are actually touched until there's paperwork signed. Now, if like Vice Grip Garage, I bet you he's probably got 50 acres of cars sitting off in the woods, and he just showed a video here not too long ago where he went to his parents' farm, and he's got cars sitting out there in the woods and stuff like that and everything. And I think what it is if you want to, with a wholesale dealer's license, you have a business like I have Tapped Out Auto. So what would happen is the wholesale dealer's license would be in Tapped Out Auto. So let's say that if my business bought this 58 Biscayne and it has no title and stuff like that, but I really want the car. So what would happen is on that is I could not buy, and this is what I don't get from Randy and stuff like that. He says that he buys his own cars. Well, you are an individual. How can you buy cars from your business if you're an individual? I don't understand that. Maybe he's got somebody that does the paperwork for him. I have no idea. That just seems like a lot of work. Now, if you go out and you find a car that you want and it doesn't have a title or nothing, but you want it, then what a lot of times and stuff like that will happen is you would buy the car and you would put it on your channel and stuff. You would put it on the channel and stuff. But see, like, I don't see how that works neither. It's like, again, from Randy from Auto Auctions Rebuilds, he bought a Ford Mustang and it's on his Auto Auction Rebuilds channel. And I don't see how he could take and put his wholesale dealer's license dealership, which is Auto Auction Rebuilds. I don't know how he mixes that up with his personal life and stuff like that. But Oklahoma's tricky like that. Oklahoma, that's why you see so many people in Oklahoma and stuff like that doing things, because Oklahoma is the easiest place to get a title for a vehicle. It really is. You have so many title companies in Oklahoma that are not run by the state. They're literally run by individuals. They just go through the state to get the titles. And a lot of them places is like $50 across the counter and you can get a title. I have done it in Oklahoma. I did it with a 1980 Chrysler Cordoba. The person sold me the car, but the title was messed up. It had somebody else's signature on the title. And I went up there to the local DMV and stuff like that, and it didn't have any government stuff in the place at all. So I was asking the lady and stuff, and she told me that it was an independent title company. I was like, okay, cool. I got this title. People signed it in the wrong spot, stuff like that. What did I do? She literally told me to go get a coffee cup. Okay, put a little coffee on a napkin, dip the end of the coffee or the bottom of the coffee cup into the coffee, and put it right on the signature that don't supposed to be on the title. Just put it right on there and make a nice little coffee mark. I did that. Now we're talking about probably close to 20 years ago now. And I walked in there and stuff like that and handed her the title. She looks at it. She tells me the price. I gave her the money. And the next thing I know is I got a title. So yeah, Oklahoma's real lenient about getting titles, especially a lot of them small towns. And that's why I think reason why Auto Auction Rebuilds love living in Byers, Oklahoma, because Byers area has got a lot of them places. Yeah, I mean, again, and stuff like that. Well, now I have actually went into this and stuff like that. Now, when the original owner dies and there's no title to the vehicle, it depends on the state. It really does. Now, Oklahoma, the only thing you have to have is a death certificate. The last time I knew, that's it. Now, in a lot of states like this one, I actually had to help some people do this about 4 years ago here. They bought a title, guy passed away and stuff like that. They could not get a title and stuff. And I had to find the guy, the person that was ahead of their estate. Now, not their kids, not if there was their spouse is still alive. None of them. You have to find the person that was in charge of the estate. And once you get that and stuff like that, then usually it's nothing but paperwork to get a title. Well, then you have to go back to the original seller, Even now, a lot of states will try to mess you around on this. But no, if the seller sold a car to somebody and that somebody never turned the title over into their name, then every state in the United States, that is still the original owner. Okay, the new owner never went up to the DMV and finished processing the ownership of the vehicle. So what will happen is that title that you have with the buyer's signature on it is junk. Like, it's completely junk. You can go wipe your butt with it. It doesn't mean nothing. Again, what you'd have to do is find the original owner of that title. And if he has passed away, then you would have to find the person that was in charge of his estate. Now, a lot of families and stuff like that, their kids and their spouses or whoever's alive, their brothers and sisters, usually none of them people are, in charge of the estate. Usually it's an attorney or some second person and stuff like that. And that's the person you have to get a hold of that is in charge of the estate. And then a lot of DMVs and stuff will give you the paperwork where they have to sign, that you have to present a death certificate and stuff like that, that the person, that the original owner has passed away. This is the person that's in charge of the estate. And they will allow that person that is in charge of the estate sign the paperwork on the behalf of the person that passed away. And it gets to be a pain in the butt. But if the car is worth it, it's worth it. You can always get a death certificate from the courthouse. You can always, or if well, that's iffy too. Some funeral homes do it and some funeral homes don't. Some funeral homes keep a death certificate of everybody that has passed away in the funeral, place that they passed away from. Some do, some don't. But you can go up to the, I think it probably would be the county clerk's office in the courthouse. You can go up there. I do know it's in the courthouse, but I'm not sure if it's been years since I've done this. But you can either go to the county clerk's office in the courthouse, and they'll tell you where to go. Just tell them that you need to know where you can get somebody's death certificate, and they will look that person up and give you a copy of it. I think it's like $3 to $5 though for a copy of the damn last time I got one. Okay, yeah. So what you need to do is I would call the courthouse. I would I think if I was you, I would call the courthouse and I think I would ask for records. They have a records department in the courthouse. I would ask for the records, have them transfer you over the records, and then ask them if they're the person that you get the death certificate from. Now, all death certificates is public domain. You don't have to have nobody's permission to get a death certificate. You can go to Tennessee and get a death certificate for Elvis Presley, as long as you pay for it. Death certificates are public, so it's nothing that you have to have permission from the family. But you can get a death certificate from the courthouse. I just cannot remember. As far as I remember stuff, the last time I had to get one was from the county clerk's office, and it was $5. Same thing, same exact thing. I bought, what the hell car was it? You know what? It was actually another third gen Camaro. It was an 85. Yep, it was an 85 blue third gen Camaro. The same thing happened. Guy bought that car brand new, and he sold it to his son. Son signed all the title and everything, was planning on putting his name. The weekend before his son was going to put the car in his name, his son got into an accident and died. And then like a week later, he died. Well, the car sat in a pole barn for like 10 years before I got it. And so when I got it and stuff like that, they told me that they have a title, but it's messed up. She told me the story. And I was just like, shit. I didn't think it was going to be a problem because this was his wife. She was a hold of the estate. Well, I called and this was in North Dakota. Yeah, here I own that car in Huron, North Dakota. And I took the car and I took the title and I took up their DMV, and the lady told me and stuff like that. The only thing I need to do is I had to get both of their death certificates, because that was just the state that it was. So I went up there, and I think it was like $10 for both the death certificates. I took both the death certificates up there to the DMV office, and it took a little bit of paperwork and stuff like that. They did call the family to make sure that none of the family and stuff wanted the car, that I was legally the owner of it. I had a bill of sale from the wife anyways, and make sure you get the, and they gave me a title. It wasn't no problems, like none. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man, in my life and stuff like that, I have noticed that there's just a lot of people that are just mouths. It's really crazy how many people do this and doesn't know anything. It's crazy, but it is hard to get titles and stuff like that. And don't believe, I have been to DMVs and stuff like that where I've gotten told 4 or 5 different things. Matter of fact, hold up a minute. I just remembered. I actually did this here in this state too. What's funny about it, it was an 85 black Ford F-150 long bed. Same thing. And I actually bought that truck from a car lot. And I bought that car from a car lot, and the title was messed up. He tried to hand me the title and everything, and I had the title in my hand, and I was like, well, wait a minute. The title on this, the title signed by somebody. Well, he's like, the guy that owned the truck passed away and all this. And I'm like, yeah, this is not my problem. And I already bought the truck. I paid for the truck, and I haven't drove the truck home. So here I am having a truck with no title that a car lot sold me. And I told them, you don't give me a title for this truck, I'm going to bury you. I don't play that. I gave you good money for a vehicle. You're supposed to give me a title, and you telling me that the person on the truck died. Well, that's not my problem. Well, that's what he had to do. He went up to the courthouse. He got the death certificate from the guy that passed away that was on the title. He went up there to the courthouse. He got the title switched over into the car lot's name, and then they presented me with a title. Now, that depends on how old the car is. I know a lot of states and stuff like that, it's a certain year. But now every car has more than the VIN number just on the dash. Like Mopar, Mopar and stuff like that has got them hidden underneath the fenders. I do know the 70s F-150. Yep, had a VIN on the doors. Well, I know a lot of people and stuff like that. They'll just go out and buy a rusted out Ford pickup truck with a clean title that has got, a decent door with the VIN number good on it, and just swap the doors. I've seen that a lot of times and stuff like that. Now, I think on the 70s F-150, if I'm not mistaken, there is three places that on a 70s Ford F-150 that the VIN number is. There's one on the dash. I think there's one on the not the firewall, the core support. And if I remember right, the other one, I think I might be, let's see, I think the other one is above the transmission tunnel. 1970 F-150, where is the VIN numbers located? All right, it says is located on the driver's side door, the inside glove compartment, on the right hand dash panel, or on top of the left hand of the frame between the steering gearbox and the firewall. So I knew it was there somewhere, but yeah. Right. And that should be the same thing. But yeah, if the VIN number is rotted off the dash, then yes, it says that it has the VIN number on the top left hand side of the frame between the steering gearbox and the firewall. So you can use that location. Take a picture of that location. You can use that location is the VIN number to that truck. And it also says it's inside the glove compartment on the right-hand side of the dash panel. So it's on 3 spots of that vehicle. I think everything has it on top of the frame. Yeah. Yeah, it says right. It said, and like I say, most of this stuff and stuff that you need to know and stuff like that, just like I did, like I tell everybody else, just ask Google. But yeah. Now, usually on the inside of the glove compartment on the right-hand side, usually those are rusted too. But the one on top of the frame and stuff like that, between the steering gearbox and the firewall, yeah, that's legit. So yeah, you should have no problem getting a title for that truck at all. And I know in 81, I'm pretty positive in 81, in the 80s, they had it above the transmission. Like there was actually a plate that was riveted above the transmission that that had that VIN number on it. Yeah, I would figure so. If the VIN number is attached to the dash, then the dash has got to be replaced. So I didn't even know. Wow, Dodge Trucks has the. Yeah, I wouldn't see any problems with that stuff like that. I wouldn't to. I mean, the thing it is and stuff like that is if you, I mean, anymore and stuff like that, you're not going to get a damn cop to pull you over and start searching all over your damn ride and stuff like that and everything for, I mean, because, I mean, honestly, any vehicle that is made, I would say, anymore, 1990 and, older, they're made with 4, 5, 10 different vehicles. So, I mean, especially a pickup truck, you cannot see anybody and stuff like that wanting to climb up underneath it and scrape off paint and stuff like that and look for VINs and stuff. You just can't. I mean, as long as the VIN number on the dash matches what's on your license plates, then it's good. I mean, as long as, there hasn't been a big high crime rating on a 1980s Dodge pickup truck, I just don't see that. I know so many people in my days that have literally exchanged the VIN numbers from. I knew a guy actually that owned a car lot. He's passed away by now, but they used to call him Doc. And he used to buy wrecked cars from auto auctions and stuff like that, and then go out and buy the same model, year model, and everything cars with no titles that people have bought them from, buy here, pay here lots. And he would buy them cars and flop over the VIN numbers and leave the wrecked car in somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And the buy here, the car lot stuff that, finance the car, they think that car is theirs, so they ship it off to the insurance company, and he would take their car and stuff with a flipped over VIN number and sell it off his lot. Man, that man did that for years. Let's see, the junkyard back then, like 60s and 70s era, swap the VINs off old cars. Oh yeah, they did back in. I would say it was more of a 80s thing than it was a 60s and 70s. The 80s, yeah, it was telling you. I worked at a junkyard and stuff like that and everything, and I had this one old man and stuff. He would give one of the Mexican guys and stuff like that that worked out there a list of cars that he wanted the titles and VIN numbers off. And he would go out there and just take a drill and just cut out the windshield where the VIN number is and just drill out all the VIN tags and everything, put them with the titles. And when the guy gets there, they just swap, he gives him the VIN numbers off the stolen vehicles. This guy here will take the VIN numbers and the titles from the vehicles that are not. This guy will go out there, screw them VIN numbers back into those vehicles and crush them. It's crazy. Oh yes, those. Nah, yeah. I tell you what. I have to tell you, the worst pickup truck that I ever owned was a 1998 Dodge Ram pickup. The worst truck, and it was. I bought that truck, I think, for $2,500. It had big old mud tires on it, single cab, short bed. I think it had a 360 in it. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember, but man, that truck was nice. And I hated that damn thing. Not the way it drove or anything else. This truck here would not idle, not unless it had a full charged battery. Fully charged battery. It didn't care. I could take that battery out, put it in my Ford Escort. It would start getting me to work just fine. But if I put that half dead battery in that Dodge truck, it would not idle. It would not. It was just a pain. And that truck actually got wrecked in Texas back in the day when old people in their 70s and 80s, 60s, they had a thing what they called the swoop and pull, when they pull out in front of you and stuff and slam on their brakes, and you smash in behind them, and then they sue you. Yeah, old elderly people back in Texas, they had a racket doing that. And instead of hitting them, I parked the truck into a pole. You ain't getting me like that. And but yeah, overall the truck was horrible. I mean, it was horrible. And yeah, there was no dash in it neither. It was yeah. Yeah, I don't know how it is now, but I know back in the day when a car was scrapped, I mean, even here, what's crazy and stuff like that is even here, um, as long as you cut the car up in 3 or 4 pieces, you don't have to have a title to junk it. I actually just got done junking a 2001 Ford Ranger, and I had a 1986, just regular Camaro that I was using for parts, but I done stripped everything off of it, and I wanted to keep the title, because since I've lived here, I've had an 86. I still have the 87 and an 88 Camaro. Well, the 88 title I kept. When I junked it, I just cut it up in 3 pieces, and the car lot kept it or took it now, or the junkyard took it, and the car that I just took out of here, I wanted to keep the title and stuff, and the guy cut it up in 3 pieces and sent it across the scales. So yeah, in a lot of states and stuff like that, to junk a car, you don't have to have a title. You just have to cut it up. Matter of fact, the 186 Camaro that I had, I did not notice this until I was cutting it up to have my scrapper guy scrap it. Um, the VIN numbers were already cut off that car from the previous owner. And I was sitting there thinking, oh shit, I got a stolen car, because like literally the entire where the VIN plate is was cut out with a grinder. You can tell. And it's just like, uh-oh. but I flipped the car on its side and looked at the VIN number on the underneath, and there was also one on the back quarter panel, and they matched the title. So why did they cut the VIN number out of the dash like that? I have no idea. But yeah, that thing, I literally cut that car up in half, and then I cut the back end of it into half, and so it was 3 pieces. And the guy took that car right across the scales and everything, no questions asked, nothing, no title. Even the VIN number on the dash was cut out. So yeah, that was crazy. And like I said, the last 2 vehicles that I had here, the guy took in with no titles. And what's crazy is the Ford Ranger, even though I am still paying the bank loan on it, the Ford Ranger actually had a lien, or still has a lien on it. And I'm still paying the bank loan. So I'm not doing anything fraudulent. I'm still paying the bank loan. But the truck was so rusted and so shot that there was no way of fixing the truck. And I could not give a title for it because the title has a bank loan against it. So the guy and stuff that came got it and stuff, cut the back end off of it, cut the roof off of it, flipped it over on its trailer, and ran that through the scales. That's been almost a year ago now, and never heard nothing. So yeah, it was quite, that stuff's just kind of weird. I don't think so. I can't remember, but I think it's like 1968 or 1969. That stuff is real. I do know, like, there's like places like not really Utah, but Nevada. I know a lot of guys in Nevada and stuff like that goes out to the desert, and they pick up cars out there in the desert that has been sitting for decades upon decades, and they take and bring them back home and fix them up and stuff like that, and have no problem getting titles for them. What is that guy's name? That's he's got a famous channel on Motor Trend, where he takes and stuff like that. Him and his buddy and stuff, they all the time take cars out from the desert and stuff like that and fix them up and have no problems getting titles. Well, I mean, it just depends. It depends what state you live in. I know there's some states and stuff that if a vehicle has not been registered in a certain amount of time, then they do exempt the title. But once you prove that the vehicle is back on the road and stuff like that and everything, and a lot of states and stuff want you to drive the vehicle to the DMV so the DMV officers can literally look at the vehicle being back on the road and stuff, then they can issue you a new title. I've actually ran across that one couple times on vehicles. Let's see. I heard about it. But someone had no title to it. They bought a clear title without the VIN plate and got it their name. Yeah, like I say, it's just so many stipulations and stuff like that. It just all depends on the state, really. And really, it doesn't even really depend on the state. It actually depends on the DMV officer and how much they want to help you. I will tell you this, that if you have an opportunity to, when you go into the DMV, get the most pleasantly plump woman that you could find. Do not get one of them skinny grandmas. I'm telling you, them skinny grandmas will bury you alive. For some reason, it's tisk with them. But for some reason, every time I go into a DMV and I see a pleasantly plump woman, standing there, or a plump man, for some reason, everything just, even here where I live, everything just seems to be so much easier. Yes, you can file for abandoned title in any state, but now I know a lot of states you got to really watch it and stuff like that because the vehicle has to be abandoned for so many years before you could file an abandoned title on it. I think Texas and stuff like that, I think a car has to be sitting for over 20 years before you can actually file for abandoned entitlement on here. Now, what stinks about this state is I actually know quite a few cars that is sitting in the middle of pastures. I know where, when we're talking about Chevelles, I actually know where this, I think it's a 68 Chevelle or a 67 Chevelle. It's sitting out in the damn woods, rotten. The people that own the property live in Florida. You can't even get a hold of them. It's like they use the property for, income tax write off. And I went and tried to see, and they don't even know nothing about the car. They never moved up here, lived up here. They literally bought the land on Trulia website. And they just use it for it. Yes, this is the only state that another state can use property for a tax write-off. It's weird to me, but yes, there's a lot of Floridians that own very nice homes up here that are rotting to the ground that they literally use for tax write-offs. It's crazy. There's actually one house that I really want to try to get stuff like that, but the people that own it live in Florida, and they use the place as a tax write-off. Beautiful house. 3-bedroom, 2 full bath. It's got 2 or 3 really big pole barns out back, and they won't rent it. They won't sell it. They won't do anything. It's a shame. And I know a lot of houses like that. When I first moved up here, there's a blue house that when I looked at first up here, and the next door neighbor actually showed me inside this house, and because he said he didn't want it to be vacant neither. The little old lady went into a nursing home in Florida. So I went into it. It was beautiful. It's screwed up now. I mean, this was 7 years ago when I seen this house, and I've been living here for 8. And the house was beautiful and stuff. And I called the lady that lived down there in Florida, and she was basically on her deathbed. And I said, "Hey, is there anything, any way I could take and talk you out, can I buy the house? I can get cash money and stuff like that. Just let me know how much you want for it." She told me that she'd rather let that house burn to the ground before she let a Michigander touch it. And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not a Michigander." "But you live there." And that house to this day is falling to the ground. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It really is. So it all depends, but yeah, that car out there, I went to the DMV and stuff and tried to get an abandonment title because the people don't even know the car's there. They never seen the property except pictures on, Trulia. So I was like, "Well, the car and stuff like that, can I get it off the property?" And they told me, "Well, if you can get a title for it and claim that it's yours, you can get it off the property." So I try to go get an abandoned title for it, stuff like that and everything. And they don't do that here. They don't do abandoned titles here. And they told me that the only way I can get that car is get the VIN number, find out who owns it, and go that route. Well, I ain't even allowed on the property now unless I have a title that car belongs to me. So how the hell am I going to look at the VIN number? I mean, I guess I can trespass and go up there and stuff and see it, but what if the people find out? I don't know if they got trail cameras in there. And yes, this place is ridiculous when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah, it's I see that a lot nowadays and stuff like that. Just like we was talking about, that I've been seeing a lot of people take those General Lees and stuff like that, and they're putting the bodies on Crown Vic chassis, Crown Vic motors, Crown Vic everything. They're literally cutting out the entire floor pans of these cars, everything underneath them, and cutting the whole body off the Crown Victoria and setting the whole body right on the Crown Victoria and welding them on. And I don't see how I don't see how, even though it looks like a Dodge, it looks like a Dodge Charger. I don't understand how they still register as them being Crown Vics. They're not Crown Vics anymore. They're Dodge Chargers, but they don't go by that. They go by the chassis, and the chassis is still a Crown Victoria, even though doesn't matter what the body is. I think it was what show was that? With Dennis Collins, Coffee Walk. You ever seen that? He just bought a pickup truck that's completely made of wood, and a Ford pickup truck. Well, the guy took and completely stripped the body off the Ford pickup truck and built a pickup truck out of scrapped wood on it. I would have to see it again and stuff like that, but it was pretty sure it was Dennis Collins that bought that truck on Coffee Walk. But it's just that. It was like, well, the guy took the body off the frame and built a wooden truck. So wouldn't you have to change the title into being a wooden vehicle? But the guy says no, it was, registered as a pickup truck. I think it was a 76 Ford pickup truck. And that's just weird to me. But again, Oklahoma, Oklahoma does a lot of things like that. I don't think I've ever seen, besides Tennessee, I don't think I've ever seen any state ever do that. I don't know if that is a thing in every state, if you can rebody a car. Like if I can take my 1987 Camaro out there and, let's just say throw a Chevy Nova body on it. I don't see how it could still be a Camaro if it's got a Chevy Nova body on it. I just don't get that. But yeah, it's crazy and stuff. And yeah, and that, that's what the bad thing about it is and stuff, is so many things and stuff like that is being rebodied. I see so many people getting screwed, and this has been going on forever. About 20 years ago, I knew a guy that was in Vietnam, and he got that Agent Orange, and he had the tubes and stuff sticking out of his chest, where he had to get, cleaned out every week and stuff, and real sad situation. And he bought a 67 Chevy Nova, supposedly SS, supposed to be all completely rebuilt and all this stuff and everything, and supposed to be an original car and everything. And come to find out, it wasn't. It was a rebody, but it was listed as a 67 Nova. I think it was either a 67 or 68 Nova. But it's like, if it was rebodied, how the hell is it still a 67? Wouldn't it be new? I mean, you would think. Oh yeah, I mean, that just stuff is it's just I just don't I just don't know about it. Well, some states say that and stuff like that, but like I say, anymore and stuff, especially the cars are getting shipped like to over there in Abu Dhabi so much and stuff like that. And, there are so many cars that's coming out of the junkyard now that are being rolled over and stuff like that. And, the roofs are crushed, especially Mopars. I mean, if you look at that show Graveyard Cars that was on Discovery Channel, look how many Mopars, and Utah is a nightmare on their stuff. I mean, they're a nightmare. And that guy right there rebuilds everything around the VIN. I've seen a lot of his cars where he would just have the upper A-pillar and stuff attached to a VIN number, and he would replace the entire firewalls and everything. Now, there is something in Utah that does have to be with the car, but I can't remember what that is. Yes, that's really, yeah. Um, Well, yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't think you would have any problems rebodying that. I really don't. And actually, that would actually look pretty cool. Um, I think what you would have to do if you rebody the Bel Air to the 58 Plymouth, I would say that you would have to use the VIN number and the title to the Plymouth. Um, at least that's what I would do. I know a lot of people and stuff like that, they would probably say that they would use the title for the chassis, but I don't think I would do that. I think if you're going to take and rebody the 57 Bel Air into Christine, the 58 Plymouth, I think I would use the 58 Plymouth VIN number and title. I think that would be your safest bet, and I think that would be the least amount of problems that you would have getting it back on the road. And yeah, I mean, well, you can't ever say that you're really not going to ever sell something, because I mean, it's like me, I keep saying and stuff like that I'm never going to sell my 87 IROC. But I'm going to tell you one thing, if somebody comes up with 15, 20 grand, and I actually promised that car to my grandkid, to one of my grandkids. And I told her when I die, that's going to be her car. But I'm a realistic man. If somebody wants to offer me 15, 20 grand for that car, I'm going to take it. Only because and stuff like that, that's what I need to get my well fixed so I can have well water here. Wow, that's pretty close. It's 3 inches difference, huh? Now, there might be a problem with that 3 inches. You might really want to do some measuring and stuff like that, especially with center hub to center hub. That 3 inches and stuff, once you set that Plymouth body on that Bel Air, even though it's 3 inches, you might not think it's that much. It could make, either the front tires or the rear tire look kind of goofy in the fender wells. What I would do if I was you is I would most definitely center the body from the front tires, the front fender wells. Make sure your front tires is completely, straight with the front body of that Plymouth, because the rear end you can always move 3 inches either way. 3 inches and stuff on the rear end shouldn't be any problems to move. To tell you the truth, man, I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't, but I do know that there's a lot of guys on YouTube taking 4-door 50, Tri-5 Chevrolets, and they're turning them into 2-doors. So I don't know if they're just leaving it as a 4-door on the title when it appears to be a 2-door. I imagine they are. So if I was you and stuff like that, I would just leave it as a 4-door on the firewall. And then, if anybody ever says anything of it, of course, you're going to be saying, well, it's a rebody, I imagine that's what the guys that have them Tri-5, the Tri-5 Chevrolets that are doing. Yeah. Man, I'm going to tell you stuff. The only thing I can tell you is don't be scared. Just, even if you think that it's not going to fit and stuff like that, and just don't be scared of it. Just do it. And like I said, like you say, you got this little hump for the to clear the distributor cap. Well, if the Plymouth firewall is flat, well, the only thing you need to do is just take and cut that hump out and weld it to the Plymouth firewall to have clearance for the distributor cap. I mean, when I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you've seen any of the early videos of that Camaro, but when I bought that Camaro, I could not see nothing but the headlights of that car. That's all I could see when I bought that car. Is just the passenger side headlight. That car was so full of stuff, it was unreal. I mean, empty coffee cans all over. It was insane. It was literally insane. Now, I knew that car was wrecked, but I didn't know it was wrecked. And but the price that her dad was selling me that car was so cheap, it was unreal. I could sell the motor for twice as much as what I paid for that car. And I really wanted to do something with it because it was supposed to have been a buddy project. You know, my girlfriend's stepdad actually, and his buddy bought this car to auction to be a buddy project. Well, life and kids got in, ahead of him and stuff. And 25 years later, his buddy passed away. And nobody wanted that car. Nobody in the family, nobody ever. And I was like literally standing there. And I tell you and stuff like that. He always told me, give me 75 for that car. 7,500? I don't even know what it looks like. I can literally just see the headlight. No. So this went on for about a year. Well, one time I'm standing there and I sold a few vehicles for him and stuff like that. And he's like, you gonna give me 75 for that car? It's like, man, I can't give you 7,500 for that car. You're like, no, $750. I don't give a damn what that car looks like for $750. And I'm gonna tell you, man, you can look at some of them. I got a playlist on that car. You can look at some of the early videos and stuff like that of it, guy. When I pulled that car up out of that garage, my heart sank. I am not a body guy at all. I mean, the way that car looked on the passenger side, everybody, including the body shops, told me that car was totaled. They told me that car would never be on the road ever again. Ever. I watched Puddin' Fab Shop for about 2 weeks to know how to weld gussets, how to put this in, because I didn't know none of this. None. And it took me about I think it took me pretty close to a year. But the car is back on the road when everybody told me that car was never going to be back on the road. And I've never done body work. I have never cut in a panel in my life. Never. And I'm going to tell you, I just said the heck with it and went for it. And I did something that none of the body shops or nobody else could do. So, I mean, the only thing I can say, man, is just go for it. Just get into it and get it done. And you can always find ways and stuff like that to, to make stuff work. Like, you need that hump and stuff like that for to clear the distributor. Well, only thing you got to do, I would just cut that hump out of the Bel Air firewall and cut it into the Plymouth firewall. Yeah, you're absolutely right on the parts situation. Now, I will tell you that, hey, I'm going to tell you, I will tell you this on the welding. Don't use a cheap welder. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Everybody told me and stuff like that, when you start off welding, go get you one of them $100 Harbor Freight welders. And so I did. And I'm telling you, even though I made some good welds, my welds hold, they were boogers. I mean, and I thought it was me. I literally thought it was me and stuff like that. I thought that I was just the crappiest welder in the world. And I probably welded with a Harbor Freight welder for about 3 years. And the last one I had, I was so tired of that thing shocking me every time I tried to weld something. I took a sledgehammer after it. And I had a white Ford pickup truck in my yard that I actually made a video on. And I traded that truck for Hobart welder from Tractor Supply. And this welder is like a $600 welder. You can hook gas into it and everything. So I was so excited to use this welder and stuff like that just to see how much better it was from the Harbor Freight. And I was bad. Well, I started using that Hobart welder, and I'm telling you, my welds are 1,000 times better than what they were when I welded from that Harbor Freight welder, and I'm not doing nothing different. It's almost got to the point now where I actually want to take and cut out all the stuff that I have welded on that car again. This would be the third time. But I would like to, I mean, actually now and stuff, I would like to cut off everything that I welded on that car and re-weld it with that welder, just because that's how big of a difference it makes. I would definitely would use a good welder and stuff, and not that Harbor Freight crap. It makes a world of difference. Yeah, it's probably get to an end. Been on here for about 2 hours now. If I was you and stuff, when you go rebody that car, I would most definitely make sure. I would most definitely make sure and stuff like that I would center your front fenders. I'd put your front fenders on and make sure that your front tires are with your front fenders, and then I would go from there, because thing to line with the car. It is. You can't really move the front end anywhere, not unless you want to cut out the entire front suspension and rebuild everything. What I would do and stuff like that is make sure that your front tire on your chassis is lined center with the front fenders of the vehicle that you're rebodying, and then you could take and redo everything if you have to. If you have to move the rear end is going to be 3 inches off, just by the dimensions you telling me. So it would be easier to move the rear end 3 inches back and forth wherever you need to go, probably forward, to disassemble the whole front end and try to do it that way. That would be something that you would have to just figure out once you get that far. It depends on what fits better. If the toe boards and stuff like that on the Plymouth fit better, then use those. If the Bel Air fit better, then use those. It's pretty much, when you rebody a car, it's more like putting a puzzle together. You can't really determine and stuff like that how anything's going to look until you just put it on there. And that's the same way with the Camaro and stuff like that. When I was redoing it, I did not know how anything was going to fit. I did not know the rear quarter panel was smashed on that car on the passenger side. It was smashed all the way into the taillight, and I had to use a 82 rear quarter panel on an 87 Camaro, which body wise they look the same, but structural wise they are not. There's actually subtle differences, especially the way the spoiler bolts on the car, and which I have to fix that on mine still. But now I also had an 88 rear quarter panel too that came off of a parts car, and the 88 stuff, when I put it on there stuff to weld it, it didn't look right. When I put the 82 on there, it looked right and stuff like that. Just what you got to do is just stick it on there, tack weld it, stand back, take a look at it, take a little breather, see how it looks, see if it needs to be moved or tweaked. If it looks wrong and you don't really think, if it doesn't really look right to you, cut the little tabs off, spot weld the other one on, stand back, take a look at it, see what it looks like, see if it needs to be adjusted here, see if it looks good, see if it looks bad, see if it's going to be easier to weld than it is the other one. That's pretty much what you're going to have to do, especially when you rebody a car. But like I said, the main thing I would do before I would, do anything is just make sure that your front tires are, your front spindles and tires and all that is centered with your front fenders. Make sure that is centered. Make sure your front tires are centered with your front fenders, and then everything else should just fall in line. Yeah, I mean, you're already customizing the car. The only thing you got to do is just cut out the fresh air vents on the back panels, and take them to the car and stuff like that, and just measure out where you're going to put them and stuff like that. And if the vents and stuff like that are like bulky and stuff like that, you always want to cut at least, I would say, I like to go about 4 to 5 inches. Let's say that you have the vent right here. I like to go 4 or 5 inches on both sides of that vent, and even top and bottom if I can. At least 4 or 5 inches, or as much as I can. And then once you cut it out, then you could take and use your death wheel and stuff like that, to trim it up and stuff. And then once you do all that, get you a piece of cardboard. And then trace it out with the cardboard and stuff, the cutout. And then that's so much easier to put it where you want to in your car, and then just trace it out and stuff like that. Plus with the cardboard and stuff, you can kind of move it around, see where it looks better. And if you want stuff, get you some tape. Tape it where you think you want it. Stand back, take a look at it. Does it look good there? Or does it look good over here in this other spot? Or it might look good over here. You're customizing the car. So there's no reason to try to make it look stock. You may as well make it look your own. You might even want to put the air vent sideways if you can. It just depends and stuff like that. It's a lot of work. It's a really lot of work. But it was good talking to you. It was great. Wow, we've been on here 2 hours and 7 minutes. Holy crap. But yes, guys, just don't be scared. Like I say, the one thing I really learned by working on that Camaro and everything is just don't be scared. I have noticed that stuff like that with a lot of people and stuff. They get really scared and they really mess their projects up. And what they try to do is they watch all these TV shows, and they see how these guys are doing it, and these guys make it look easy, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I mean, but like I said, if you're going to customize the car, then might as well make it look your own. Yeah, that little lip. Yeah, boy, I'm trying to think of how them cars look. It's been such a long time. Yeah. I just you can always change all that stuff. Once you get into that stuff like that, you can make any of that stuff go wherever you want to and stuff like that. You might have to, do some finagling and stuff like that. But it really doesn't matter if, if it does drain on the sides and stuff like that. Just build you a channel and stuff like that off of it where it still works the same. Rain gutter cow area, it makes sense, is closed off. The drain is in the middle of the firewall on top of the Plymouth. The barrel air drains to the side. Well, then just cap that. Yeah, like I say, man, it's just something that you would have to just get into and stuff like that, and just see how to make it work and stuff like that. I'm not there and stuff, so I can't. I can't really tell you exactly what to do from there and stuff like that. But the only thing I could say is just don't be scared. Don't be scared at all. And I do appreciate the shout out. But yeah, just don't be scared and stuff like that. And like I said, it's like you're customizing the car anyways. Just cut that out. Like I said, cut it out on the other car and just lay it on there. Just lay the vent on there and stuff like that and everything. And see if it comes to you. See if your brain finally kicks in and say, oh, this is what I need to do. I need to cut this channel out and put this channel in. And I need to weld this like this and put this here. You really don't know what to do until you're there with it. I mean, that's just it. Until you're there ready to get it done, you just really don't know until you are there and you are right ready to do it. You just be so surprised at how much stuff falls into place when that stuff happens. It's unreal. But guys, I'm going to get over here. I got a few things and stuff I got to do before my girl gets home. But it was great talking to you guys. It was great on the live and stuff like that. I wished everybody got in here, but I had for some reason I had about 7 or 8 people. For some reason they couldn't comment on here, and I've had this problem before. So I'm sorry, guys, that if y'all could not comment on here and stuff like that for some reason. I don't know why YouTube does this. I don't even supposed to be doing a live yet. Far as I know and stuff like that, you're supposed to have over 1,000 subscribers to go live. At least when I had another channel and stuff like that, not Tapped Out Auto, but I had another channel, and yeah, that's exactly what it said. I could not go live at all on that channel, and then I switched to this one, and now I can go live. So yeah, I just have no idea. But yeah, another thing, guys, if you are starting a YouTube channel and stuff like that, and you want to try to make it, one or two things you have to really learn about trying to be a YouTube creator. One thing is, if you don't have the face that YouTube can sell, forget about it. I know so many YouTube creators that are great. They got great content, surpass mine. And their channels that don't go nowhere because of their looks. Like literally, I know a guy on here that's very, very smart. And he's got less subscribers than I have. And his channel has been on here for 5 years. And take care, man. I'll talk to you later. And you just can't, you just can't do it, or credit card debt, but that's the only way that I've ever seen anybody on YouTube ever make it. I know I've never seen a big name YouTuber shout out a little YouTuber. I don't know. Bad 66 Chevelles. I have to look and see how many, but that'd be great stuff like that. Give me a shout out, shout out to him. And I mean, that's fantastic. But no, probably been doing this for 5 years. I have never once seen a big name YouTuber give any little YouTuber a shout out, ever. Never, ever. They give each other shots outs, but they don't ever bring other people up at all. And no, Zip Ties and Blind Supplies does not show his face. But he pays for a lot of his views. You got to think that man usually only takes and puts on videos I don't know. I mean, there might be some loyal fans. I know he's on the Patreon a lot, which I'm not. I'm not on the Patreon at all. And I know he does carry a lot of his views over from the Patreon. But the reason why, his channel and stuff like that gets, so many views because he pisses off a lot of people. 1,500? Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not, it's not a whole lot, stuff like that. Man, what's really bad is I have a guy on here. I'll tell you this real quick before I get off. I have a guy, Third Gen Junkie. He is also another YouTuber and stuff, and I actually feel really bad for him. Oh shit! I don't know if you ever heard of him or not, but one of his stickers, Third Gen Junkies. He used to get a lot of views on his channel, a lot, and then he got monetized. And when he got monetized, he told me and stuff he can barely get 4,000 views in 28 days. I just looked at mine and I think I got over 17,000 in 28 days. So it's like, it's like you work so hard to get monetized. But like I said, if you don't have the credit or the face that YouTube can sell, you don't go nowhere. When you get monetized and stuff, they supposed to, get you hooked up with the commercials and everything. You're supposed to fly up like Buy Script Garage and Zip Ties and Buy Supplies. But like I said, if they can't sell your face and you don't have good credit for them to take, then they don't. They just don't want to have nothing to do with you. They just really don't. It's just a shame too. No. I will tell you this right now. Zip Ties and Buy Supplies is a very smart man. Now he's fugly too, like like me and all of us that can't get up in YouTube. But he figured out a way to get away from his fugly face, and that's to cover up with a mask. And I think that's very unfortunate that this man has to cover up his face just to be somebody. He can never show his face on his channel. If he does, YouTube probably will take it down, his entire channel. I imagine as high up as he is in the views and subscribers, I imagine YouTube sent him a letter and told him, don't you take that mask off, because that mask is what sells. And yeah, I mean, I've actually seen one video with Zip Ties and Buy Supplies, what he actually looks like. And yeah, he's doesn't have the looks, just like all of us. He doesn't have the looks, but he covers his face with a horse head just so he can make YouTube happy. And I'm not doing that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people and stuff like that that's getting back into Christine and stuff like that. I'm just really glad that they didn't come out with that damn reboot movie. That reboot movie would have sucked. I seen a couple of thrillers of it and stuff, trailers of it and stuff like that, and it was just bad. And I think what really got me and stuff like that, instead of a nerdy white guy, it was a young black girl. Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. I think even Warner Brothers actually took it all down. I didn't see no stitches of that or nothing in a long time. I think it just pretty well died. They supposed to came out with a second Ghostbusters movie with the all girls, and the same thing with it. It just died. It would be nice if they can, make an 80s movie that, remake an 80s movie that didn't suck. They're finally doing something with Ghostbusters. Now, I don't know how the new Ghostbusters and stuff like that is going to be, but I do know the Afterlife. The Afterlife was decent. That was a really decent movie. I understand. I will tell you this real quick, that I do know a couple of Chevrolet executives, and it's already happening. I'm already having a problem finding parts for newer vehicles. Chevrolet announced that they're going to stop making parts for their vehicles that are 5 years and older, and they're stopped making a lot of aftermarket companies that are stopping. I mean, simple things like I worked on a Chevy Malibu a couple years ago, and I needed a transmission line. Non-existent. Chevrolet won't make it, and no aftermarket parts make it or nothing. A bottom transmission line I couldn't get. Right now, I'm working on a 2007 Honda, what is that, CRV? And we are having a hell of a time. Yeah, 2007 Honda. We are having a hell of a time right now finding a master cylinder and a brake booster for that car, a 2007 Honda. We think we have the parts coming from Parts Geek, but none at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto, Therapies Auto, Advanced, I think a Car Advance or something like that, Auto. None of them places could get a master cylinder and a brake booster for this car. But supposedly the Parts Geek can. We're going to see about that. Looks like Monday. I probably will do a video on that car. I didn't diagnosing it and take it apart because it was wet and rainy. But Monday it's supposed to be nice, so I'll probably do a video on that one. It's just shocking that so many cars. But yeah, I would, if you was going to do anything with there, I would either put an old school Chevy 350 in it, because them parts are, it would still be some years before they get rid of all them parts for the Chevy 350s. I wouldn't do the LS thing. Some of them are. Yeah, some of them are. On the Honda, some bolt patterns are different and stuff like that, and the bore size are all different. Yeah. I just don't know what it is, but I have lately and stuff, especially Saturns, like the Saturn View, parts are just hell to get for them cars now, especially up here. Yeah. Yeah, some you can, some you can't. It just depends. I will tell you stuff like that Ford and Plymouth and Dodge interchange a lot more than any other manufacturer. I have taken tires and rims off of Mopar vehicles and stuck them on Fords. I think the only thing I had to do was the center hub. I had to take and waller out the center hub and stuff like that to make it fit. Man, I tell you what, a 360 now is a badass engine. I'm not a fan of Dodge at all. I'm just not. But I will say that 360 is the boss of any of the. I'd rather have that than a Hemi. I really would. I've had a couple 360s, and I mean, they would just fly. I would have to say, though, if you're planning on keeping the car and you want to find parts for it, I would put in just a simple Chevy 350, one wire distributor, one wire alternator, and be done with it. I really would, because there is so much more of a cult following over the Chevy 350s that I don't think you would ever not be able to find parts. The 360, however, they're not that popular of an engine anymore. People just don't use them as much as they used to. So the parts availability on those engines are greatly depreciating and devouring. I mean, some of them 360 engines are getting harder and harder to find. And the parts availability for the 360. I just got done rebuilding it's been a couple of years ago. It's on my channel too. I got done rebuilding a big block 460 Ford. And now those supposed to be all interchangeable with the 390s and let's see, the 390s and what the hell else? There was another one too. oh, I can't remember. I think it was 458 or something like that. But everybody was telling me and stuff like that, these 460 big blocks that they put in Ford trucks for decades was the easiest things to find, to find parts for and stuff like that. No, that 460 was a nightmare. I will never ever build another 460 Ford ever. Never. You ain't gonna get me. No. Just because the parts the engine was easy to build, but the parts availability was hell. It was just hell. Yeah, it does make a good setup. It really does. Chevrolet hit it right on the mark. Now I'm a Ford fan. I love my Fords. I really do. My favorite truck was that black '98 Ford F-150 Holly Berry, and I did things with that truck that I would never dream about doing in this GMC Sierra that I got now. That truck, I literally had probably a good 250-pound log on the back of that truck with a crane on that F-150. And I drove backwards to a shed with a cherry picker, shelves, and everything. I was just tired of looking at this shed. And I knew that it would always be there if I didn't drive over it. So I backed through this thing at a high rate of speed in that truck, shed full of stuff, that big old log hanging on the back of that Ford F-150 off of a crane. I backed right to it. And I thought I just totaled the back end of this truck. And I got out, and the only thing it broke was a tail light. This 2006 GMC Sierra, I bumped into a tree. No neck hurt or nothing, just bumped into a tree, caved in the whole rear bumper, and bent the hell out of the bed. Yeah, 454 is a good motor. Now, like I said, with Chevrolets and stuff like that, very tricky. Very, very tricky on the parts, on trying to find the parts. I do know that there is a certain year of 454s that you cannot get parts for them no more. I think it's the 70s, either late 60s or early 70s. 454 Chevrolet motors you cannot get parts for. The GMC crate motor 454s you can still get parts for. Now, people say that the parts and stuff like that are the same, but I've heard other people say that they're not. Something to do with the heads and stuff like that are different. I don't really know. I don't really, I never really dealt in big blocks all my life. I'm more of a small block guy. Yeah. I don't know if I would put the F-150 chassis swap to the 69 S10. Ford trucks and stuff like that are about the same way as Chevrolet engines. Ford trucks and stuff like that, suspension parts and stuff like that are hard to get. I know I had a 89 Ford truck. I couldn't get a front end kit for that thing for nothing. Like, it needed ball joints, inner tie rods, everything, and I could not find a front end part for this truck at all. So I would most definitely look in on the chassis of that F-150 and just find out if parts are available. I know even with my 89 Ford truck, I had problems finding parts for that. And I wind up buying a whole second front end kit for that truck off of a crackhead just to know I have it, because the first set I got was a pain in the butt to get. It just was. All right, guys, listen here. It was great to talk to you guys and stuff like that. But yeah, my girl's heading home right now, so I better get some things done, like getting the fire lit before she gets here. But I really appreciate everybody getting on here talking to me. Thank you a lot, especially to Bad 66 Chevelles. I'm pretty sure that I'm subscribed to your channel. More than positive I am, but every small YouTuber out there that is in automotive and stuff, if I don't know you, then I'm sorry, but if I do know you, then I am subscribed to you. I don't really subscribe to a whole lot of the big name YouTube auto shows unless it's like Vice Grip Garage or Puddin' Fab Shop that literally teaches me some things. But other than that, I'm not subscribed to a lot of them and stuff like that. And I'm really hoping and stuff like that here pretty soon I could find I could find some business partner or something like that so I can go downstate and start buying cars and bring them up here to sell. I actually figured it up with a guy and stuff like that about a year ago, and he actually backed out because of health problems. But we actually figured it out that we can make $5,000 to $10,000 a week in profit. That's paying overhead, paying for the car, paying for go get them and everything. Just a profit we figured would be anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 a week a piece, and that's only selling anywhere between 8 to 10 cars a week, which up here would be easy as hell. If y'all don't believe me, just go to Facebook Marketplace and Cadillac, Michigan, Traverse City, Michigan area. Guys, just get on there and see the crazy prices of these vehicles up here. It is absolutely ridiculous. I am seeing cars that we used to buy for $300 to $500. We're talking about like 87 to 2002 Buick Riviera or Buick Oldsmobile Delta 88s and stuff like that. You know, the old grandma's cars and stuff. They're literally up here selling for like $3,000 to $5,000 for them old grandma cars now. It's unreal. It's insane. All right, guys, y'all have it easy. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for joining. Wow, this was a good long live. We'll do it again. Y'all guys have a good one. Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.